Hey there, welcome to my kitchen. Today we're going to be doing some holiday baking. Specifically, we're going to be making some choux pastry. These will be for cream puffs, but I don't have cream to make the cream part of the puff. So I'm making the puff part, which is choux pastry. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make these and then I'm going to freeze them and then I will get them out next week for Thanksgiving and fill them. And hopefully they taste amazing. So let's just hop right into it. I will put the recipe for this down in the description box. Choux pastry is extremely easy to make. It can seem a little bit daunting, but it's very basic ingredients. So basically what you do is you put butter and water into a pan, and then you let the butter melt and you wait till it boils. And then you remove it from the heat and you add sifted flour, and you just like get it all beat up, and then you slowly add beaten eggs and you just kind of really whip them, and then it just turns into this like paste stuff, and you can put it into a piping bag. I in the past have always just kind of like used a spoonful and kind of just put it onto a pan, but I think today I'm going to actually attempt to pipe them so that they are more uniform and smaller, because in the past I've done like really big ones, but I think I want them to be little so that more people can enjoy them for Thanksgiving. So that's basically what you do. Really easy. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to turn on the oven and let it start preheating. I'm going to turn it on to 425 degrees Fahrenheit and we'll let that preheat. Next step is going to be getting a pan and adding our butter and water. I have already gotten everything prepared, just, you know, so that it's easier. I'm going to scooch you back so you can see a little bit more, and we'll get going. Okay, so here's my saucepan. I am going to add 1 cup of water and a stick of butter that has been cut into cubes. This is the doubled recipe, by the way. I'm going to put it into the description box as a single recipe, but you know, you can double, half, whatever you want. Whatever works for you. Also, I'm attempting to let my puppy be out and about with me while I do this, so hopefully he doesn't wreak any havoc. So it's starting to come to a little bit of a boil here. It's getting a little bit boily. There's still a few little chunks of butter, so I'm just gonna kind of stir it around and make sure that the butter is completely melted. And then once it is completely melted, sorry, I like have to crouch down to be in the shot here. Once it has been completely melted, we'll take it off the heat and bring it over here to the counter where we can put in the sifted flour. All of the butter has been melted. We're removing it from heat. Now what we're going to do is we're going to add in the flour and stir it vigorously. I've also added a little pinch of salt. That just kind of helps it taste better. We got all our flour in. So now I'm going to get this going here. Okay, so now we have our paste, and we want it to cool a little bit because we don't want to cook the eggs when we put them in here into the pan. So I'm just making sure they don't have any chunks of flour. It is just this kind of thick ball of paste right now. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to slowly add in the eggs, and I'm going to mix it up as I add the eggs in. So this is what it's looking like partway through. You want you don't want it to be chunky like this, you want it to be smooth. So I'm just gonna keep stirring until it's a really nice, smooth paste, basically. Okay, so now you can see this is more of like a paste. It's kind of like mashed potato texture, but a little bit thicker and stickier. So I'm just gonna keep stirring it. Okay. So that's kind of the texture that you're going for. It's very sticky. So now what I'm going to do is I'm gonna let this cool for a second, and while I let this cool, I'm going to prepare my baking sheet. To prepare the baking sheet, it's real easy. I'm gonna get a stick of butter and I'm going to butter the sheet, and then I'm going to sprinkle water on it. That creates a little bit of steam and helps the choux rise. So we're gonna scoop this guy over a little bit and get a baking sheet out and get it prepared. Okay, if you hear squeaking, I'm sorry. My puppy grabbed a toy and I can't make him stop. So what I'm going to do now is I just got a Ziploc because I don't have any piping bags. I'm just gonna like clip off the edge of it with some scissors. And I'm gonna put the choux pastry into the bag, and then I'm going to pipe it into just like little rounds onto the sheet. So my choux pastry is now on the pan. I'm going to put it in the oven. It is at 425. I will bake it at 425 for 10 minutes and then reduce the temperature to 375 and bake it for 20 minutes. You can also add a little egg wash. I think that I'm just gonna use like the rest of the egg that's in this bowl. Just kind of slap it on here really fast. And then they should puff up nice in the oven. This is how they turned out. They're nice and golden. The bottom does look a little teeny bit crispy. You know, usually I do this at a bigger size, so maybe that makes a bit of a difference, but it's not burnt. So I think they will be really yummy. So what I'm going to do is just let them cool to be down to like room temperature. They cool pretty fast. I mean, I just took this out of the oven and I'm already just holding it with my hand and I'm not like burning myself. So they do cool pretty fast. And so I'm just gonna let them cool to room temperature, and then I will flash freeze them. Editing me here to tell you that I actually did not flash freeze them because they're not filled. So flash freezing basically means that you like put them in on a pan and let them freeze and then take them off and put them into a bag. But because they weren't filled with anything, I just put them straight into a freezer bag and sucked all the air out and then put them into the freezer. So if you're not filling them, don't worry about flash freezing them. If you are filling them, flash freeze them. That's the moral of the story. And then I'll put them into a bag, and then next week for Thanksgiving, I'll make some whipped cream and fill them. So I think they turned out really good. They puffed up nicely. Should I try it? They do taste nice. That is my adventure in making cream puffs. Well, choux pastry. Thank you so much for being here today. Before I go, I just want to say I made this vest. I crocheted it. I will put the pattern I used in the description box because it's by Hey Hey Crochet. So easy to use. It was really easy to understand. I had so much fun making it, and it turned out awesome. Like, this is definitely the best piece of like wearable crochet I've ever made. So I just wanted to shout that out because I'm very proud of it. Anyway, thank you for being here. I again will put the recipe for the choux pastry in the description box below, so check that out, and I will see you in my next video. And happy holidays. Bye.